Hello everybody, my name is Delphine Clément. I work for the ITC, called the International Trade Center. We're actually a United Nations agency, and you might be wondering what the UN is doing in a fashion show. Actually, we're supporting apparel companies from developing countries to find new business and to connect to new markets. And here with us, we have companies from Madagascar. They also have a booth there. And we're trying to connect Madagascar, their wonderful apparel industry, to the UK market. And actually the timing is perfect because you might know this, but the government of UK has developed new economic partnership agreements. So basically now it's with developing countries with duty-free access to the UK market. Tomorrow there will be a session at 11 with people from the Ministry of Foreign Trade coming to explain to you, buyers, how now it's made easier to source in new emerging destinations based in developing countries. So here, this afternoon, we have 3 apparel companies that the UN is supporting. They have their booth over there, and we just would like to maybe just give you a few tips, few information on how Madagascar could be your next sourcing destination. So with us, we have Sofiane Bouali. He's the owner of the Azala brand, and he's also working with his mother at the LOE Confection. We have Irange Razafinari, who's the owner of Index OE, and Frederic Wybo, owner of Ultramail. So I'll just give them the floor so they can briefly introduce themselves and their company. So let's start with Frederic and Ultramail.
Okay. Hello. Yeah. Hello, everybody. Thank you to be there. Thank you to ITC to invite us to the Source Fashion. Donc, my name is Frederic Wybo. I'm living in Madagascar for more than 30 years right now. I've got a factory. We do knitwear, fully fashion knitwear. We've got about 1,000 workers. And we export mainly our product in Europe. And we would like to develop UK. That's why we are there today.
Irange?
And so, hello everyone, I am Irianza. So we have a company. When I say we, it's a family company. It's my mother, in fact, who has founded the company 20 years ago in Madagascar. She was 50 years old when she founded it, so it's a fantastic story. And now we are 3 sisters, and we are, kind of transitioning together to expand it. And one of the expansion that we are looking forward is to work with the UK. And we are really specialized in adults and children, and I would say in the woven. So happy to have discussions with you guys, and thank you, Delphine and ITC, to make this possible.
So hello everyone, I'm Sofiane, I'm 25 years old. I'm actually younger than the company I'm representing because it was built by my mother and my father in 1995. At the beginning we used to do lingerie, but now we're specialized in wool. And we specialize also in the kids and women markets. Most of our clients are based in France, and as everyone here, we are trying to expand in the UK. We would be really happy to discover this new market.
Okay, thank you so much. So now, could you tell us a bit more about Madagascar and its vibrant apparel industry? Because you might know Madagascar, it's a big island in the Indian Ocean next to Mauritius. It's also a movie, but it's nice beaches, but it's much more than that. There's a real long-lasting industry with a very specific know-how. So could you tell us a bit more and maybe walk us through also what is the specificity of the product that you make, Frédéric?
Okay. So we don't have 5-star palace, but our nature is 5-star. So here we are. It's a very poor country, one of the poorest in the world. And, but it's a big country and with a lot of potentials. And we've got a lot of international agreement with a lot of countries like Europe, United States, South Africa, and even all the country in the world, because we are an LDC, low developing country, and it means that we have no quota, no duty. So this is very important, and that's why there is textile in Madagascar. Textile, long time that Malagasy people do textile. They are very skillness with their hand. They do very nice embroidery and very nice work by hand. And in 1999, there is a new law. It's called the EPZ law, Export Processing Zone. It means that if you invest in Madagascar, you have no duty to pay if you import fabrics or yarns from outside. As soon as you do one thing in Madagascar, one transformations, you can reach European markets without duty. That's why there is a lot of countries everywhere in the world who have invested. I speak about Mauritians, I speak about Chinese people, I speak about Indian people, European people, and Malagasy people who have invested there. There are about 200 EPZ companies, mainly in garments. We are very strong for cotton stuff because we have fabric in cotton, and we have a big factory there. It's called Sokota, who is making a lot of nice cotton fabrics. And there is about 10 knitwear factory. And because we have no duty, we do quite a lot of cashmere sweater and blend cashmere sweater with wool and everything like that. We don't have spinning mills in Madagascar. So we import the cotton from Mauritius, close to Madagascar, the mohair from South Africa, because there is a huge mohair industry in South Africa. And otherwise, mainly we import from Asia and from Europe, also from Italy, because some factory like mine, Ultramai, we work for a brand, so we don't have huge quantity, and then we need to work with stock service, and it's easier for us to import the yarns from Italy.
So if I'm back to the woven part, especially at Indexoi, what we are kind of highlighting in terms of know-how is more the embroidery and smokes that Frederic has already talked about. That's important because it's a traditional know-how, it's a traditional technique. It's important as well because it's mainly women who are working in that part of the business. And one of the things that we think that we are kind of contributing to when we are recruiting those women is really to kind of give them a stability, in terms of salary. So it's a kind of pivot that we are trying to make on developing the know-how and making that also possible that there will be some training of the next generation so that we don't lose that know-how, which is important. And it's not written anywhere in books. So it's in the heads and in the hands of those women. And so that's what we are trying to develop and keep in terms of specialty, I would say.
I have nothing to add to this.
Okay, great. So maybe Madagascar is maybe new to some of you. However, in some other markets might not be. Of course, Madagascar, due to the proximity of is francophone country, so you might have more experience in the French markets. So could you, or other markets actually, and we're curious to hear what, as an exporter, what is your experience? Can maybe some UK brands here trust you in making business with you? So could you give us some hints on what is your experience in exporting in international markets?
Okay, we are an island far from UK, but we are very connected. We've got a lot of connections through internet. It means that it's easy to work with European people. And with England, we have only 2 hours difference. With the other part, France, it's only 1 hour, which is very good for working. You have not to wake up very early, or we are in the same
time zone,
yeah. And this is one thing which is very important, the connections with people. Then after, you have a lot of fly for there. We have a lot of shipping company who is working from Madagascar. So it takes a little bit time for sure, but you can compare with China. It's the same in terms of lead time when you have to import stuff from outside and when you have to export by air or by sea. And the cost is very similar also. So here we are.
Yeah, to kind of complement what Frederic is saying is Madagascar has started this business around textile kind of more than 20 years ago now. So we are exporting to the US, to France, some of us to the UK, not me, but some of us to the UK. So 20 years is already a lot. So there is some stability there in terms of ecosystem of, all the shipping, the supply chains, but also in terms of ecosystem of the players locally for Sokota, for example, with the fabrics, but also with all the accessories. So you really need to consider Madagascar as a kind of destination where we can propose you many offers which are complementary. I think that's important. And of course, if you need to, we can ask some of our customers also to talk with you and exchange on how we did with them for the last 5 years or the last 10 years. And we have fantastic brands, French one, US one as well, because we have specifics with the US. And as Fred say, in terms of language, that's important as well. When you guys need to speak with us or with our teams, and some of the teams are already speaking French as well. We are old French colony, but English as well. So all those things are making projects easier to manage. And we all know that it requires, that comprehension in terms of alignment when we're working together.
Maybe if I can just add a thing, we have a very diverse know-how in Madagascar, that's true, but also in terms of quality, in terms of quantities, we have small factories that specialize in very high quality fabrics. We also have much bigger size factories that can do like 10,000 pieces per styles. It's a very diverse place to source textiles, so I encourage you to to look it up.
Okay, and maybe one final question, which is the hot topic of the moment. It's sustainability, environment, social compliance are like key issues for any buyers contemplating doing business in new sourcing destination. As you can imagine, if the UN is supporting these companies, it means that we have vetted them and we know that they are very much compliant to all sorts of certifications, but also that they have programs in place for their employees and so on. Can you actually tell us a bit more about what is your corporate social responsibility strategy? What sort of actions are you taking in terms of environmental performance, but also social compliance?
Yes, if I would like to add something before to go on the sustainability. I would like to tell you that the salary for a worker in Madagascar is very low. This is 45 pounds per month, which is one of the lowest. And the skillness of the people is very high. So the labor is very competitive. And that's why there is the textile also, international agreement on very competitive labor costs, which is a very important key point. Now to speak about environmental, social stuff, we've got some law in Madagascar, and this is the old French colony. They keep the bad things of the French, and there is a very strict law. You cannot do nothing with your worker. And we work with Europe. We export 100% of our productions. It means that we have to be compliant with the buyers. And then all the factories in textiles we export, we are Smeta, Ecotex, GOTS, all these SEDEX, BSCI. We've got a lot of certifications in order for the buyer to be sure that the company they are working with are a citizen company. So it is very important to know that. And in the way of life of Madagascar, in textile, in factory, there is no children labor, not at all. This is not the
culture.
The culture, yes, of Malagasy people for that. So we are not playing with that, for sure, because of you, because of our clients. We know that it's very important, and we want to be very clever with all our clients to understand what is our philosophy, what we would like to do, and we would like to do nice things. By myself, in Ultramar, we are a dyeing house. So we use only chemicals that is GOTS certified, because my knitwear factory is GOTS certified. And plus, we have a water treatment, and nobody is checking. We do by ourselves and for our clients, which is very important. And we are not the only one. In fact, most of the factories in Madagascar are working like that. So this is very important for all the environment. And we try to develop more stuff. We try to go further with energy, because this is a key point right now. We have a lot of sun in Madagascar. I will say that, I don't know, 300 days of sun. So we are, sun energy is coming in our factory right now, and we are trying to develop more stuff for all environment aspects.
Well, just to complete what Fred said about Madagascar, we may have a stigma to think that Madagascar is a very poor country, so will be a low CSR point. But that's not true, actually. The average factory in Madagascar is much more developed in terms of CSR than many other factories around the world. We have a very compelling social policies in most of the companies. If I take the example of LOA, for instance, we have a social center, a medical center, we use solar energy, we developed solidary permaculture for our employees. There are lots of things that are in place, and as Frederic just said, we have a lot of solar energy coming right now in our factories. Most of the companies started to develop solar energy, so that's a very important point when you know that energy is the most carbon impactful aspect of the textile manufacturing. But also, and I would like to add a point, in LOA we just built our own brand, which is Azala, and it's specialized in upcycling. What I want to say is, in the upcoming years, upcycling will become more and more important, because fabric scraps are at the heart of environmental problems. And for this to become real, we will need to have a lot of know-how. For instance, at Azala, we rebuild fabric scraps, 3, 4, 5 centimeter squares that we rebuild in the form of a fabric. And this requires a lot of manual work, a lot of technique, a lot of precision. And all this know-how we have, we develop in Madagascar. It's part of our culture, of our textile culture. And so we are at the forefront of this change of the industry. More and more companies in Madagascar have developed small research and development centers to research about upcycling, to find new methods, artisanal methods, but also industrial methods to upcycle the fabric scraps. So I think in the upcoming years, with all this upcycling market that is developing, Madagascar will take its good share of it.
Great, thank you so much. Well, we hoped that we provided you with some information, and then now that we can put Madagascar on the map. As ITC, we also support other developing countries. Ethiopia, Jordan, and they're all here in the fair if you want to meet potential new clients, new businesses. And we are around here next to this space. So if you have any questions to our companies, we can also provide you with additional information on how we train, how we support these companies in becoming more competitive, but also, doing good trade, because that's what's important also. producing good quality products with happy employees. That's all of us, our objectives. So thank you so much, and looking forward to continuing the conversation with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.